Hello, and welcome to Sunday live streams at the Key to Soul Awakening. I'm Stacy, a spiritual powerhouse for those looking to upgrade into the 5D. In my day job, I use my psychic skills and guides on the other side, along with the knowledge I have about clearing karmic patterns and living your highest and best life, to help those who are struggling to find a way back to their happiest life path. That's right, you heard me correctly. I am a psychic medium. I've been a working psychic medium for over 15 years, and like to give a shout out to my father-in-law, who opened the door for this path for me after his passing. Not only do my clients get my personal help, they also get help from the other side while working with me. I'm here every Sunday live streaming at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any and all questions coming from YouTube viewers. They can be questions about your life path, celebrities, current events, pretty much anything underneath the spirituality umbrella. Here's how this works. When you want to ask a question, you put your date of birth and your specific question in the chat box. My husband, Bob, will get the questions in order and send them over to me. I don't see the chat box very much because I'm holding the connection with the other side, and the chat tends to distract me. So when I ask you a question to validate any information, you can go ahead and put it in the chat box, and Bob will send that over to me. After I've answered your question, if you would like to have more information or a session with me, you simply click the link at the top of the chat box that's pinned, with a special rate for those of you who join me on Sunday Live. Now we're about to get started. Have you hit that like button yet and subscribed to this page? And also ding that bell because I go live during the week too, and you want to be alerted when I do. I always forget I have that mute button on. Give me, in the chat box, if you can give me just, tell me you can hear me, that'd be great. So yeah, I can hear you. Mute is now off. Welcome everybody. It is April 11th, 2021. Let's see here. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Okay. It's April 11th, 2021, and this has been a really long time since I've been on YouTube Live. So welcome. Thank you for coming back. Thank you so much. I've just been traveling and the Wi-Fi was just not great, and I didn't really want to deal with the Wi-Fi situation while we were traveling. So I've just decided to. Thank you, Niva. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Okay. So make sure if you're here, I want you to make sure you like and like this post, like this live stream, and also subscribe to my channel. I think it's a good time to do a prayer right now because I'm all like, okay. We're going to do the opening prayer. I'd like you guys, please, just to take a deep breath and close your eyes. In trust, we are here, Divine Source, in all that is unity, truth, love, light, patience, clarity, and organization. We ask for the protection of Archangels Michael, Raphael, Uriel, and Metrodon during this transformative assist. Please protect myself and all of those who are watching and participating while we in our goal to raise our vibration and clear our chakras. We thank you for this now that we are experiencing together. Please give us the highest and best information that is for our highest and best good in order to promote a positive, productive life. We send love and healing to all of those who have harmed us or wish us harm, in hopes that they heal and share love instead of hatred with the world. Amen. All right. So good morning, everybody. Today's going to be a little different just because I don't have too many notes. I'm going to be going off the top of my head here. I was just over on my Facebook page, and my Facebook group, I do a different live on Facebook than I do on YouTube. Let me see if this is my Facebook. This is, okay, that's my Instagram. So you can go over to my Instagram and you can follow me there. Also on Facebook, I have a Facebook page that I don't know why I don't have the screenshot of. If Bob can put that link in, I put it at the top, I pinned it at the top, Facebook. It's called Private Group The Key. And all you do is request to join. Make sure you answer the questions. We can't have you join. And you go over my Facebook group and you'll get my lives exclusively every Sunday just for the people on the group. Today we talked about 4 mistakes we make when dealing with anger that stops our vibration and our flow. Today we're going to be talking about 4 ways to know that karma is blocking our lives. All right, and in between that, I'm going to take readings from the viewers. So if you would like a reading, you're going to put your date of birth and your question in the chat box. Then Bob puts it on a list for me. As I said on the intro, I don't look to see the chat box because it distracts me and it takes me out of my my vibration, my hold with the other side. So make sure you put the question in the chat box. Bob will put it on a list. I can't guarantee I'm going to get to everybody. It is 11:15. I'm going to go for about an hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes, okay? All right. So thank you to my Patreon members who are my lovely Patreon members. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, which means that you work one-on-one with me, head over to patreon.com/thekey. I do feel that all of my clients are like my close friends and family now. So if you want my help in order to clear your karma and live a higher, best life, go over to patreon.com/thekey and you can see how you can join me. All right. We have 4 questions already. Good. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 4 ways to tell if you have karma blocking your life. Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me pick an oracle card first. Oracle cards are a little different than tarot cards. I love these cards because they help us with where we are in life and where we're going to go. And let's see, let me pick the best card for everybody watching. Here we go, this one. Okay, this one's talking about birthing a new age. All right, so this is talking about that we're all wanting to be, we're all wanting to live a happier, more positive life, and it's up to us to create that. We can't sit around and just wait for it to happen. We're creating the positivity. All right. So in your own life, I want you to think right now to pick one thing that comes to the top of your head that you can make a choice to react to in a more positive way. That's what that card means. You can only create, well, you can't only create a positive way, but you only want to create a positive life. So everything that challenges you, make sure you have a reaction that is at least somewhat positive, even if it can't be totally positive. Okay? All right. So before I get into the 4 ways you can tell if you have karma blocking your life, I'm going to explain a little bit about the background of why we're here and why you are specifically sitting in the chair you're in right now. Then I'm going to get to Neva and anybody else who has a question. All right. So we are all in our exact lives right now, where you are, where we are, because we planned it that way. And I know that sounds really, I had somebody on my YouTube channel the other week just be like, yeah, if I planned my life, it would be a lot better than this. Would it, I mean, we're supposed to learn from our lives, right? So you planned everything from your name to your birth date to where you're going to live, your parents, the community you're going to be living in, the culture that programs you into life, and I'll explain that in a second. You planned everything. So every choice you've made from the time you've started planning your life through birth up until now got you to exactly where you are right now. And that's a good thing because we're all still here, still trying, right? So even if you feel miserable right now, you can find one thing to feel happy about. I have a client who just loves her dog so much, and that's what she always focuses on, is her dog. So what I want you guys to do is remember that you planned your life to be challenging, to learn lessons, all right? And they're not supposed to be easy. Life's not supposed to be fair, all right? And I know that's hard to say, but like even my life is not perfect. It's not easy. I just tend to look at my life a little differently now because I know the spiritual awakening has opened up so much more knowledge in me that I understand that bad things happen for us to learn. It's not that we're bad people. It's not that we did bad things. They're for us to learn. So this blueprint is made, and you basically write out almost every year of your life, and you have contingencies. So if this doesn't happen, like this will happen. It's kind of complicated. But when you are around the ages of 27 to 30 is the first time in your life where really, and I haven't met one person this hasn't happened to. Between 27 and 30, your life, something will happen in a crisis situation, and you're going to, or you did, have something that so completely changed your life, it made you think about living your life differently. And that's planned that way, because from 27 to 30, we are closest to spirit. We're closest to the spirit in the divine triangle. So between 27 and 30, you really do have a choice to either change your life into one that is more spiritual and more going towards the blueprint, or, as most people do, you kind of turn away and go more into the material programmed world. All right.
these are the kind of things I talk to my clients about. And if you have questions that you want to ask me right now about your 27 to 30 crisis or anything like that, you can put that in the chat box too. It's not just for readings, okay? If you have questions about anything I'm saying, go ahead and put it in the chat box. All right. Let me get to Neva. Okay. Parents are looking for marriage proposal. Will I get a good character person soon? Okay. Oh, you're 33.6. Okay. Okay, right away they're showing me two. There's two coming. And one is going to, you specifically, I like that you're saying good character person. The one that looks better on paper, and your parents might like that one better, is not the better choice. The one that has the better character is the one that's like in the number two position. Um, Not that you'd have a bad life with either one of them. The guys are just saying when you're talking about character, Neva, you need to look a little bit deeper than what is presented to you. Um, I'm also getting the feeling that you're having a little bit more choice in this than most, and that's good. So make sure that you. They're just saying go look deeper, look deeper, look deeper. Don't stop at the. They're showing me this very nice looking man with a great smile, and then there's another man who's also nice looking, a little bit shyer, and the number two one is the one that you should be going with. But it is really your choice. I don't see a bad thing either way. All right, but just that word character is what threw me to the second one. Okay. All right, so let's go to number one. Repeated and similar situations. This is huge. When you think about your life, I want everyone to think about the general situations that keep repeating themselves in your life. All right. And you keep thinking, why does this keep happening to me? All right. And this could be literally anything. All right. This has to do with your karmic pattern, because if you haven't learned what your karmic patterns are, you haven't learned how to recognize them. And until you do that, it's going to keep happening over and over again. Okay, so I have this client, she's coming to my mind right now, and she had a past life regression a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing what we learned, because she has this whole thing with her parents where like her parents are not very nice to her at all, but she tries to be very presentable, very respectful, very loving. And the things I've heard that her mother has said to her specifically really, because I'm a mother, it really kind of hits me at the heart. And my client doesn't really understand. But when she had her past life regression, she found out she had two other lifetimes where the parents in those lifetimes said things to her that completely derailed her life. Completely derailed her life. So karmic patterns not only travel through one lifetime, they travel with us through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime until we clear and recognize them. So in knowing that information, that that's one of her patterns, and it's feeling unworthy. It's unworthiness is the pattern. There's like 25 or 30 different patterns. Unworthiness was one of her patterns, and now she's starting to work on that because she recognizes that anything her parents say she wants to do, but it's always set up in a way that is not helpful for her, and they kind of set her up to fail, and she wants to do well for her parents, but nothing's ever good enough. And now that we know that this is a karmic pattern, she's going to recognize it and release it, and she won't ever have this problem again. And that's what happens when we have similar situations, repeated similar situations. I'll take myself as an example. So all through my life, like anybody who loved me, like literally my entire family's dead. Okay, my entire family. I can't even tell you. There's nobody. I have nobody. So they either died or they have not speaking to me anymore. I have no family left. And that was my pattern, abandonment. I came in with a pattern that was saying that you love me, you're going to leave me. And that's abandonment. And a lot of people have this pattern, a lot. And it causes a lot of struggle with people in life because there's this concept that, like, just because you came through someone's body and they're your mother, or you came through, they're your father, that that they're always right, that they're always good, they have good intentions. We're taught that, right? That's not always true. And it causes a lot of struggle in life when you think that the people in your family are supposed to be the ones that love you best. It really is by action versus title. I hope you understand what I'm saying there. So every single person I loved or loved me abandoned me and left me. And I'm going to get down to how that ended up on number 4. So when I realized that, I thought, I wonder what's going on here. And that's when I started my soul spiritual awakening process, and I realized abandonment is one of my patterns, and it was one of the first ones that I cleared as well. And what's interesting now is that even though I don't have, everyone thinks I have like gobs and gobs of friends because I do this. The thing is, I don't need very many friends. I have a handful of very close friends, and that's all you really need, right? I learned that you don't need a lot of people in order to validate yourself. I'm going to say that again. You don't need a lot of people to validate you. You don't need your parents or your family, if they're going to make you feel bad, to validate you. So think about your life and think about the situations in your life that kind of keep happening. It doesn't have to be the same exact situation. Like my friend Holly, where she Bob, can you put that link up for the soul contract video? I talk about Holly's story, where Holly was married to a man who was not very nice to her. He was abuse, did not do nice things to her, and even after she left him, she was finding men who were violent. And she didn't realize it until much later. And she realized, oh, I'm attracting that. That's her pattern. I'm attracting that. So it doesn't have to be the same person, doesn't have to be the same situation, but similar. Think about that. Think about the situations that you have in your life that are similar, that keep happening, and you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to make it better. The only way to make it better is to clear your karmic patterns. All right. And like I said, there's 25 to 30 different patterns, but you don't really need to know which pattern specifically, but you do need to know the process of it. Okay. One second. All right, so let me go to the next question. All right, birthday, June 13th, 93. When do you see me start a successful business? Yeah, things are delayed all around. I like this question. You're saying that things have been delayed. Boy, have they been delayed. Oh, thanks, Christina. Yeah, this is my new merchandise. It's going to be coming out soon. Working on the website so you guys can all have really, really nice things. And I love the quality, the yoga pants. That's a pillow I love. I will talk about that soon. But yeah, I have merch coming out probably another week or two. I'll send that out. What was I saying? So 2020, 2021 has been so just, well, really, if you're an introvert like me, if you're an introvert, 2020 has been great because I don't have to talk to anybody. I know everyone's like, you're shy. I am. I don't really go towards, in real life, talk to a lot of people. That's why I married Bob, because Bob does. Bob's really good at it. But 2020 and 2021 has really been a setback. You could look at it as a setback for a lot of things, or you can look at it as a gift that's giving us time to reevaluate ourselves, time for inner work, time to kind of shift if things aren't working. And that's where I've gotten to, like, all this other mess aside, this last, 13, 14 months has really offered all of us a lot of time to really evaluate things, okay? So the question here is, just having a successful meeting. Let me start having successful business meetings. Okay. And this question, this is about you getting a job or you owning your own business. I just want to be clear with that, okay? If you could just let me know what Abenkita. 4, okay, 10. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, okay. You're a 9. Okay, so the question, when do you see me start having successful business meetings? Things have been delayed for some time now. Let me go over here. I'm seeing you, okay, you're a 9, and what a 9 is a life path 9 is somebody who learns through endings of things. So the fact that you have gone through an ending of career, I feel a shift. There's a shift. Like you did one thing and now you're shifting to the other, but you feel very, very, very uncertain about that shift. Okay, they're showing me September, this upcoming September into October is going to be a very busy month for you because I just see a hustle bustle around town. There's a hustle and bustle. I'm seeing lots of shops, lots of vendors, not exactly vendors, but shops. Hustle and bustle. What they're specifically saying, though, is that in order to have any kind of income or any kind of anything that you're happy with, it needs to be shifted away from what you used to do, which they're telling me you didn't like very much. Is there something that you want to do that you just haven't really thought about, or you have thought about it and you don't think you can do it? That's what you need to be focused on. That right there, the shift. Don't go looking at what you used to do. Look at this new thing, because that's exactly why things have been slow. I don't know if you've heard me on YouTube say this before, but I say this all the time to my clients and on Facebook, that when there's a wall in front of you and you can't move forward, like if there's a roadblock, that's not meant for us to push through it. That's not meant for us to, push harder through it. You're supposed to think, okay, there's a wall here. I'm not supposed to go through this. I need to redirect my efforts and look what else is available. All right. I hope you understand that. So that's exactly what they're showing me, is this brick wall, and then September, October. All right. If you have any other questions, let me know. All right. Let me go to number 2 is interesting because I think we've grown up in this society of, I call it the Kardashian society, where we look at everybody else and how they have all this great stuff. And like, what about me? Like, why can't I have a life like that? That's number 2. The why I can't have life like that. If you have a karmic pattern blocking your life, you feel like everybody else has good things happening to them and you rarely have them happen to you. And that's called a victim mentality. You don't have to be like in some major crime in order to have the victim mentality. Just the mentality of like, that good things never happen to me. It always happens to everybody else. That's putting yourself in a victim stance. And when you have that stance of a victim, it's like putting a sign on your head that says, come, hurt me, take my money, do whatever you want. I'm a victim. This is who you do it to. I'm a victim. But when you take that label off, you no longer attract people that are going to harm you. And the only way to realize that you have this victim mentality is start recognizing it in your life. And that's a big step. You have to really, really stop and think, am I thinking of myself as a victim here? How am I sort of creating this? All right, I want you to really think about that, because a lot of people don't like looking back in their lives. They don't like looking at their choices, and maybe they made a choice that could have been better. That's exactly where you need to start. When you make a choice and it could have been better, there's always time to change it. Even if you can't go back in time, you can change whatever you can right now to make that better. All right. Okay, and they want me to go back and talk to you about the difference between ego and intuition and programming. So when we come into this life, which I explained, I'm having Sunday brain fog, so give me a second. We plan our life, and when we come into this life, we are raised by a culture, a family, a community, a society that programs us into believing what is right and what is wrong. All right. So what somebody's going to believe what is right and wrong in Turkey versus somebody who lives in Mexico is completely different, because you're raised 2 different countries, 2 different areas of the world. But remember, you chose that area of the world to learn your specific lessons. So where ego and intuition comes into this is your ego is what is programmed. That's your human ego. And how you tell the difference between the two is the ego is very loud. If you ask yourself a question, the ego will come immediately with an answer. It usually has something to do with making yourself feel good, revenge, and it has this heavy feeling to it. Your intuition's very quiet, but if you think about making the choice the intuition wants, it's a lot lighter. And although it may not give you the satisfaction of having revenge from somebody, it feels better to walk away and leave everything in the past. And that's just an example. But that's how you can tell the difference between your ego and your intuition. Your ego is immediate. It's loud. It really gives you the choice that feels good in the moment, but probably is going to mess things up down the road. Intuition is always there. It's quiet, and it always has your best interest at heart as a whole. All right. If you have questions about how to tell the difference between ego and intuition, just put it in the chat box and I will answer that. So when you feel like other people have more good things happen to them than you're really telling the universe, don't give me anything that's going to make me happy. Because the universe, that's what you're focused on. Whatever you're focused on is what the universe gives you. Everybody understand that? The law of attraction does not fix things. It doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you focused on, what you're focusing on. It gives you what you are. So if you're sad and bitter and depressed, the universe is going to give you more of it. So you have to pull yourself up out of that. I'm going to go to the next question. All right. Can I please ask, I'd be able to come out of my current relationship or not? I have divorce papers going on, but he's creating obstacles. Oof. Okay, so yeah, he's creating obstacles for you, Avinash. He's creating obstacles for you, but that's a matter of control that he's trying to do that. What was just said to me is it doesn't matter really if you are divorced on paper or not. If you've decided that you're done, and cut him out of your life. And ask the universe to help you move this proceedings along as smooth as possible in a most positive way. And you might want to ask the universe, you need like a team around you. You need like a team who can kind of intervene on this, and you don't need to know much. And I hate to say that, but what needs to happen is you give your wishes to whomever's helping you, and then you can go live your life happily. And then those people in your team is going to make that happen. And I know, like in life, in human life, it does matter if you're divorced, but in your heart, you just need to put that period at the end of it and move on, and not consciously not let anything he's doing affect you. And I think you're having trouble with that right now. There's some major control issues going on here. Because it's not as if he doesn't want to get divorced, or like, I don't. It's kind of weird. Like he's like fine, but he's trying to make things as difficult as possible just to make you miserable. So you just need to let it go, live happily, and move on. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's clearly what I'm seeing. Don't even waste one more minute thinking about this guy. It's going to happen. You're going to get your divorce papers at some point. It's going to be left up to him, though, because he is throwing a lot of obstacles. According to you, you're already divorced. You're moving on, and the rest is just paperwork. Does that make sense? Okay. That's a really good example, though, of challenging people and things that keep coming over and over again. Avinash, you want to be careful of not attracting somebody else like this. So you need to choose again and tell the universe, I choose again, and I choose, and just explain what you want in a relationship, in a spouse or a partner at this point. And use it in positive terms. Don't say, I don't want him to be mean. You would say, I choose to have a partner who's only loving and caring and treats me in the most positive ways. Do you see how that's different? I mean, it means the same thing, but we don't use the word don't because the universe doesn't hear it. So if you say, I don't want him to be mean, the universe hears, I want him to be mean. Got it? You understand? If you're new here, make sure you hit the like button on this stream and subscribe to my channel. I'm Stacy. I'm a psychic, and I also teach people about how to clear the karma out of their life in order to live their highest and best life. And a little background to me is I had depression my entire life. I could say pretty much my entire life. And number 4 is going to go into a little bit of this. But if you want to know my background on this YouTube channel, it's called Part 2 Generational Patterns. It tells you a little bit about what I had gone through in my life. And then my spiritual awakening came, and I now look at myself in the past as like a completely different person. I mean, I really don't even attach like that person to who I am anymore because I've changed so much. And that is what I do with help. I help people change in order to live their highest and best lives. All right, let's see. You're welcome, Avinash. Okay, let me go to number 3. So we already went over to know that there's karma blocking your life, repeated in similar situations. So, right, I had this woman in my class, and you're on the, if you want to identify yourself in the chat, you go ahead. But she is a school teacher, and came to me first and was like, I'm really frustrated with my students. They don't ever do much. They don't do what they're told. And then she started talking about her home life, and she started talking about her kids not doing what they're told, and frustrated that she's a bad mom, bad teacher. And I was like, you're saying the same thing about in 2 areas of your life. Like, that's your pattern, that you feel that you need to be in control and you're not good enough. Like, why try to control your students? If they're not going to do the work, that's on them. right? This is high school, by the way, not elementary school. And her kids are old enough to know the difference between right and wrong. So if they don't make the right choice, we can't look to her as a bad mom, right? And I think that's where we get a lot of people get in a rough spot here, is that when you look at repeated situations, you immediately want to control them in order to make them better. But control makes things worse. You need to let go and allow the universe to come in and flow. All right. But that's an example. So, repeated situations in your life, similar situations, when you're struggling with almost the same thing in different areas of your life or for a long period of time, that's a sign that you have a karmic block. Second one is feeling like other people have better things that you do. You never get anything good. Good things always happen to everybody else. Second thing that you have a karmic block. The third thing, and this is an interesting one because I haven't actually talked about this ever, but it came into my mind while I was writing notes for this. And the third thing is I'm feeling like no matter how successful you get in life, it's never going to be enough. Like, think about it. Like, what do you want out of life? Right? What do you want? Is that going to be enough? Are you going to be happy there? Okay, what is happening when we think about that? That's our programming. That's your ego programming you, thinking, you must have this kind of job. You must make this much money. You must do this. You must do that. And that's just programming. When you have the feeling that never enough, you never have anything that's enough for you to feel like, yes, I did it. I'm good life. I'm happy. That is because you have a karmic block that's not allowing your soul's purpose to come through. And your soul's purpose probably has something very different to do than whatever it is in your career or your life at the moment. But you are trained to do that one specific thing, and society looks to you as successful, when really that's not what success is at all. Success truly is defined as just unconditionally loving people, yourself and other people. Did you notice the prayer I said at the beginning when I gave love to people who harmed me? Because they need it, right? So yeah, I'm not going to go around and be friends with these people again, even though like they're harming me, but I'm still going to send them love because that's, a version of unconditional love. So when you think of the word success, stop thinking about it in terms of material success. Think about it in terms of family and unity, and think about how you want success to come to you that way. Because when you finally have that done, success in every other realm will come to you. When we focus on money so much and jobs and titles, it does not allow us to have any kind of spiritual cleansing at all. It's like everybody's so obsessed with being right and being rich that you block everything else out. All right. So when you think, no matter how successful I'm going to be, I'm never going to be satisfied, that's a karmic block. All right. And we would need to go down a little bit deeper to figure out where your blockage is. But that overlying feeling is definitely where you're getting stuck. Before I go to the next question, just tell you this is what I do with my clients. I take my clients and we talk about their lives, we identify their karmic patterns, and then I help them release them over a period of a few months. And I have a few clients who probably, I don't know if they're on here right now or not, but they could tell you their life has been completely changed. Their lives, I can't even, stuff I see happening to my clients just because when they come and work with me is a little bit amazing. I one time I actually got off the phone with somebody and I started to cry because I was like, I can't believe her life is so good. Like, she's really made these choices for herself. I've done really nothing other than just help guide her. But this is what we do. So I'm here to guide you guys. So if you're interested in that, there's a link at the top of the chat box. You can make an appointment with me and we can talk more. All right, Samantha. Okay. Samantha, right away that's why I looked back at this question. Right away, I get this feeling that you are at the heart a very joyous, happy-go-lucky person who just loves life. And you're very much, I get this feeling of like a wet blanket being put on me. And you're just like, I don't know where my life's gone. Is there some obligation that you are holding up in your mind, in your life, that you feel you need to fulfill, out of duty, out of family, out of promise? There's some obligation that moved you to where you are now in life, and that may not be physically, it may just be like situationally. And this is how you kind of got where you are. Your life path is a five, and it makes sense now because a five travels. Um, a, mo- a five travels a lot. A five has to keep moving. Fives are party. They're very happy. They move everywhere. But I feel very stuck when I'm thinking about you. Like there's something about your life that it's like, nope, I can't do that. I can't do that. I have to stay this way. When really that's not true. So it has something to do with family. Um, you're still here, Samantha. If you're still here, just let me know, okay? Um, so what they're saying is identify that place where it's you feel so weighted down, and that negative feeling of being weighted down you're not supposed to have. So when you feel that negative feeling of being weighted down, find a way to get out of that. Release that. Get out of that situation, and it's not going to end up as they're saying she thinks that's bad. She thinks that that's a bad situation. You're supposed to not be as in depth with the situation as you are, and that's what's holding you down. Could also be, that's interesting, it could also be this last year because you do like to travel and move around, see lots of people. And what has 2020 and 2021 been? It's just been a whole lot of like staying in place. So I think when we move forward in this whole lockdown issue and whatever, you're going to feel a little freer. See if she's telling you any questions. Okay. Um, Let me know, Samantha, if that makes sense, because I will, I'm sorry, I will elaborate for you a little bit if you have any other questions. I'm going to go to one more question and then go back. Um, Lovely symbols. Okay, starting your own business. Okay, the guides are telling me that you need to pay more attention to having it was first money and then all ducks in the row. You have this excitement about starting your business, but you don't have all the plans out yet. And if you go too much forward without having the anchors, like they're literally showing me anchors, if you're not anchored in what you want to do, you're going to get very lost and it's going to turn to spin out. So it's not a question if your business is going to be successful or not. It's a question of if you've done enough preparation in order to make it successful. I do see it being successful if you would do that, yes. Is there a partner? Do you have a partner? They're saying if you don't have a partner, I'm seeing you do though. They're saying a partner related to business, like has more business knowledge, would be ideal. So get somebody who like you know what you want to do, but business itself is much different than the actual. I always go back to McDonald's. Like McDonald's like made hamburgers until these two business guys came and were like, we're going to make you a franchise. The McDonald family didn't actually do anything to make that franchise. They just made their burgers, and the business people really made McDonald's into what it is today. So that's exactly what I'm seeing for you right now. Symbols is that you know what you're doing, but you need somebody to help you with the business part of it. All right. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll elaborate. Okay. All right. Let me go back to. Okay, we're talking today about how to know if you have karmic blocks in your life, and it's really easy to tell. Number 4 is your life. You've lost nearly everything and everyone, and you don't understand why. People only get to this point in their life, though, when they are ready to go through the spiritual awakening. If you're not ready to go through a spiritual awakening, what happens is your life kind of gets like, it's like shifting gears, but they don't shift. Okay. When you're ready to go through the spiritual awakening, but you have not released your karma at all, your life falls apart. will fall apart. Everything and everybody about it. I mean, really, I had this happen to me. I looked around, I was like, holy shit, my whole life's going to be gone if I don't recognize and clear some karmic patterns I had. So, one of two things can happen here. You can either be in a life that is so just struggle filled and negativity filled that you can't even see your way out of it. And a lot of, if I, what I'm saying to you is going, yeah, right, lady, you're probably there. And I've been there too. A lot of my, most, no, all of my clients have been there too. That you get to this point where it's like, I just don't even know what to do to make my life better anymore because everything just always turns out so negative. So when you get to the point where you're losing things, you're losing people in your life, that is when you need to start going within and looking at yourself and your own choices. Because the universe tends to isolate us most when we need to wake up. Okay? So, hold on, I gotta see what there's, hold on a second. Okay, right, I'm going to repeat that. So, what I was saying in my Facebook group an hour ago was that many of us look around and we want to blame so many other people for bad things in our lives, when really it is our choices that got us here. No, we did not make other people be mean to us. We did not make other people make the choices they made, which did us harm. But what choices did we make to put ourselves in those situations? What choices did we make in our life that allow us free access to people who are going to hurt us? All right, those are the choices we need to come up, the changes we need to make up. Additionally, your vibration, if your vibration is very low, you're going to attract low vibrational people. If your vibration is high, those low vibrational people want nothing to do with you. You will attract high vibration people. So really, and when it gets down to it, choices all have to do with their vibration. All right, it doesn't have to do with where you live or who you talk to. It has to do with your vibration, because your vibration is very high, then a better place to live will come up. Nicer people to be friends with will come and show in your life. It's all about the choice to living your life positively or negatively at the very core of this. So if you live your life positively, and I don't mean delusionally, I mean positively. I was just telling, I mean, I can tell you guys the story too. When we flew back from the States a couple days ago, and there is no one reason that I should have been able to get on that second plane other than the fact that we just kept flowing with it. I mean, I wasn't like happy-go-lucky, yeah, no, not at all. But I decided not to put roadblocks up. I'm just going to flow, see what happens. And we got on the plane that we, by all accounts, should have missed. But that's what happens when you stay flowy and you just realize that challenges happen and you try to stay as positive as possible. You will get to where you want to go and better. The universe has better places for you to be than you can even imagine. Trust me. Trust me, I've seen it happen over and over again, even to myself, to my clients, to my friends. If when you let go of the expectations and you just stay positive and you flow, your life is going to soar. All right. So number 4 is when you've lost nearly everyone and everything, it's time to go within and find out and learn what choices you made in your life in order to bring you to this point. And I want you to remember this before I move on. There are no mistakes. Everybody repeat after me. There are no mistakes. There are only lessons to be learned. I'm going to bring up Holly again. So Holly is a great, everyone loves that story, the video about Holly that I did. Because really, how many people have gotten themselves in relationships that seemed good at the beginning and turned out to be just awful, right? There are no mistakes. She didn't make a mistake by marrying him. All right? You didn't make a mistake by getting into relationships with people who turned out not so good. Those were lessons you planned for your life. And as soon as you start seeing them as lessons rather than punishments or mistakes, your life is going to open up. Promise. All right, let me get to more questions. All right, Mr. Krabs is back. Will my future husband be awakened? Okay. Seven. Okay. I really feel like yeah, that would be why it's really far away, right? Yeah, you're on the younger side. Okay. I don't feel as if your future husband is even in the wings yet. Okay. Um, the question about if he will be awakened is that if you are awakened and you have a positive vibration and you know all about this stuff, you are going to attract somebody who either believes what you believe and not say it, or they're right on the same path as you. It'll be very rare. You won't, no, 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 no. You won't attract anybody who's not awakened. Let me put it that way. Um, Understand that when we make our blueprints, we always, there's twin flames, soulmates, blah, blah, blah. I get frustrated when people talk about that because it's very much misunderstood. There are a number of people that in the world that we could marry and have lovely lives with. All right. Don't whittle it down to just one. So what you want to do is make sure that you keep your vibration high and you live a positive life, and you will attract somebody who is just like you. And with that, I want everyone to listen to this. You also need to love yourself. Do not bash yourself for flaws or mistakes that you have, because you're going to only attract somebody who points them out to you as well. So make sure you love yourself and you respect yourself as much as you can, because you're going to be attracting somebody who does the same thing. All right. I hope that answered your question, Krebs. Um, Neelam. Okay. I'm going to do your life path number one real symbols in a second. Okay. Neelam. You feel a lot lighter to me, Neelam. I'm getting this like real light pink color, like a real pink fabric, real light. I mean, it has little gold glitter in it. It feels a lot lighter than before, Neelam. Did something happen to you, Neelam? That I'm just seeing you being very happy, very, and it's different than before. Not that you weren't happy before, but you just feel happier now. And there was a shift in something, whether it be your mindset or things that happened. Yeah, and they said just keep going with that. Just keep going with the feeling that you have right now. I want you to latch into that positivity and just go with that. So when you're faced with anything that's challenging, don't sink into the negative. Just focus on whatever's positive about the situation. And if it's a really bad situation, back out of it and get out of there, but stay positive. All right, I have a question. I just glanced over here, and I like this question a lot. It is tricks for Neelam asked me how to maintain high vibration symbol tricks. These are is a really good question. Um, so I don't have the chart here, but there's a vibrational scale, and really to get at neutral, you have to get through your ego, and you have to realize that you have made choices to keep you in a negative vibration. Um, Okay, fine. I will tell this story. They keep telling me to tell this story, and I'm like, I think I've told that story a million times. So, years ago, when I was going through my depression, and we were in the States, I remember waking up one day and I was flipping through Amazon on my phone, because I guess that's what people in the States do. We just buy things from Amazon constantly. Um, and I had bought something really little. It was like shoes or pen. I don't remember something. And I hit order, and then about 30 seconds after I hit order, I get a message from Bob that's like, "Oh, you're awake." And immediately my reaction was, of course he knows I'm awake, because he has all of the cards tracked, so I he can control me. And then, but that was the time where I was like kind of in the middle of the whole Dark Knight thing. And then I thought, no, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. And I messaged and I was like, yeah, I'm awake. How'd you know? And I was like, no, 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 I'm awake. Of course you know, because you know every penny I spend. And he was like, yeah, that's how I knew you were awake. I just didn't want to wake you up. I was happy that you're awake. And I went, oh, so I'm totally misreading the situation. So that was the first time when I realized that like my thinking about a situation was very different than what the situation actually was. So the first thing to keep a high vibration is you have to consider, am I bringing the negativity with me? Is it me? That's the first thing. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I don't know what day it is, we were at the airport, and I won't go into this whole story, but we almost didn't get on this other flight. And I could have gotten in an argument with the one attendant, but I thought, you know what, let me just get in the plane. Let's just get in the plane. We're going. And that's the other conscious choice, is if you see negative things happening around you, even if they're happening like to you, okay, stay positive. Just focus on the positive. Like, this guy was being not nice, and one of the ticketing counter people, and I just was like, okay, great, we're going to get on the plane. I'm not even going to focus on that. Those are two things that you really need to do every day. So when people do things negatively to you, around you, or you see it happen, don't sink into it. Big thing they're showing me now is, I stopped doing this 2 years ago. I stopped watching all news. All news. Okay? And I know Bob always says this to me, well, how am I supposed to know what's going on? Well, you keep an eye on the news, but you don't need to immerse yourself into it, because what the news does, at least at this point in our life, is it's definitely going to bring us down into the negative and get us to point our fingers at each other, when that's not what we should be doing. What we need to be doing is trying to figure out where we can all meet in the middle and love each other. I know these issues are a lot more complicated than that, but if you watch the news religiously and you're all over like politics and all of that stuff, that's going to lower your vibration. So I'm not saying not be informed. What I'm saying is, don't let it be your whole life, because really, if there was an answer to all of it, we already would have found it, right? But we all end up fighting about it. And how does that make you feel when you fight with somebody over politics or a big issue like that, right? How does that make you feel? All right. And I'm asking that honestly, how does it make you feel? Like, think about it. Angry, depressed, negative. I mean, do you ever feel great after watching the news and then talking to somebody who doesn't agree with your viewpoint? That is why I stopped watching, just because what it does to my vibration. So those are 3 things you can do to raise your vibration. The other tasks, I mean, this is, if you want to make an appointment, go ahead. I mean, I can go down a list, but specifically, people generally do keep themselves in low vibrations, but they do it in their own way. And that's why it takes me having to pull out, like, okay, tell me what's going on in this life. And I have a whole system of how I do this. And when I point it out to people, they're like, wow, I never really thought I was doing that, but you are. And they're so easy. There's just so easy changes to make that, I mean, it's not like you're moving or you're, having to quit your job or leave your husband or any of that. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to start thinking about life in a little bit more positive way and focus on the silver lining of it all. Because remember, life's not supposed to be fair. It's not supposed to be. That's why we're here. Earth is not supposed to be an easy life at all. It's not supposed to be fair. There's inequality in the world. There is. And it's supposed to allow us to learn lessons. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that is what it is. And it's not, that's why we're here. I mean, Earth is the closest place to hell, honestly. Like, this incarnation is very much like hell, because it's not fair, and it is hurtful and damaging sometimes. So we need to focus on that silver lining. All right. Make sure you hit that like button to this live stream and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you know when I go live and I upload new content. I am going to have new content coming up soon. I've just been so busy the last 2 months that I have kind of put it off to the side, and then I do have lots more new content coming up. So make sure you hit that bell so you know that my new content, or I'm going live. Okay? Okay. Okay, I'm going to jump down here when you're saying it's a political consulting business. That's fine. If you're in political consultancy business, fine. What you need to do then is put yourself in a higher, protect yourself with a white light, and ask them to not allow your emotions to get drained from any negativity around you. You want to stay completely logical, all right? When your emotions get drained is when all the negative, and your vibration gets lowered, because it allows other people to kind of get at you then. You need to, especially if you're in this political consultancy, you definitely need to surround yourself with a white light and ask your guides to keep all negativity away from you and allow you to do your job the highest and best way possible. Okay? All right. Let me go. Okay, so what do we do about clearing the karma? What do you do? If you realize that you've had this karmic pattern, what do you do? The first step is to recognize it. So if you see situation after situation after situation, or person after person, and it's kind of the same thing coming in, recognize this as its karmic pattern. And you want to say, like my pillow says here, I see it, I feel it, and I release it. Then you're going to choose again. You're going to choose. I choose, and choose whatever you want to fill in what you just released. But those are like little paint chips. So when you think about your karmic pattern, we're all like a house. We have good bones. The karmic pattern's like an ugly paint job outside of our house. In order to get the paint off, we have to scrape it, right? So anytime you say this, I see it, I feel it, I release it, you're flipping off another paint chip of that whole karmic pattern. So it's not going to happen at once. You have to recognize each and every time it comes, and eventually you will get it all off. When you start clearing your pattern effectively, the universe is going to throw more at you to see if you can handle it. With that said, the ego is also going to go try to make you think you're doing the wrong thing. Every single one of my clients has always gotten mad at me right before they've made a breakthrough. Okay? It's because the ego does not want that to happen. So they try to have people think that I'm crazy, I'm do this, or, you shouldn't be doing this, life's fine, this is the way life's supposed to be. No, life's not supposed to be like this. So when you clear your pattern, just know that it will come a little bit harder at you for a while as you're clearing, but when you get over the tipping point, life will become a lot easier. And when you clear the whole thing, all of these bad situations that you've been experiencing, the people who've been in your life who are not fun, literally will just disappear. Okay, I'm not saying die, they will just move away from your life, and your life will become a lot easier. And that is exactly why you're here, is to clear this karma. Everyone asks about why you're here on this planet, in this life. The first reason is because you got on this karmic wheel, and you need to balance the karma. All right? And everybody has karma in little different individual ways, which is why I'm here to help you. All right, so if you're interested in talking to me, just go to the link at the top of the chat box and make an appointment with me, and I can discuss your specific situation with you and where you could fit into our whole key memberships. Okay, sometimes people have to join memberships. Other times people just see me once in a while, and that works for them too. But it's always very individual, so I can't really come on and say this is what you need to do, blah, 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 until you make an appointment. But the general thing is you need to recognize it, release it, and then choose again. All right, does that make sense to everybody? If you have questions, let me know, okay? I'm going to go to, okay, I think I did that one. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Cool. All right. Neelam. So I'm going to go over 4 ways that tells it's blocking you. So you repeated situations, repeated similar in situations, feeling like that only other people have good stuff happening to them, a feeling that no matter how successful you get, it just never feels like enough, and your life starts to fall apart, or a lot of people start to leave you. Those are 4 ways you can tell that you have a karmic pattern blocking and you need to make some changes in your life to be more positive and live a life with, and really, I want everybody to remember the only thing that matters, literally, the only thing that matters in this life is love. And you'll know you got to where you're supposed to be when you're able to look at the person that you don't like the most in this world and wish good things for them. Because that's all we really need. That's our goal. That's where we should be going to. You guys have any other questions? I will answer your questions for you, or... All right, I want to talk about blueprints too just a little bit. Give it a second. I'm going to take a drink. About 5 minutes left. I'm going to talk about blueprints real quick. So I briefly explained that we all make a blueprint before we're born, and we do. I recreate these for some of my clients where I can take your birth date and various other things, and I will recreate your blueprint with Source and my guides helping me as well, and I can see exactly where you kind of fell off the path, and I help you get back on. And how that works is it's called the divine triangle. So like I said, ages 27 to 30 is when the first crisis moment comes. The second crisis moment is going to come in the next 30 years, so around 57. Because when we're all born, Saturn returns. We're born at a specific place where Saturn is. Every 30 years, Saturn returns. Saturn brings us to our soul alignment, and we can make the choice between if we're going to be, moving more spiritually in a loving, positive way, or if we're going to move more in the human, materialistic vengeance way. And most people do choose the human ego vengeance way because that's what we've been taught. That's what we've been programmed to do, right? It's a lot harder to move the spiritual way because, well, it isn't, it isn't. It is a lot harder because a lot of people don't understand it. But here's the thing, when you move on in this spiritual path that you're walking with the spiritual awakening, you will automatically attract more people who are going through what you're going through or who understand what you're going through. So don't be so much afraid that you're going to lose people as you go through this. What you need to constantly think is, what am I supposed to be learning from this? And how did I create this situation where I'm sitting right now? And again, other people have done stuff to us. I'm not denying that. It's the choices after they've done that that change who we are and where we are. Are you going to be a victim for the rest of your life? Or are you going to leave that? Because you can't be, I always say this is my, I don't ever consider myself a survivor. I consider myself evolved. I mean, if I was a survivor, I'd have to be a victim still, right? And I don't label myself as a victim anymore. I label myself as a spiritual enthusiast, a guidance person. Okay? I'm not a victim anymore. You can't move on your path as long as you keep thinking about yourself as a victim. Bad things happen. We need to heal. We need to learn. We need to move on. And that's the end of it. People on earth are very used to kind of sinking into their, vengeance and anger mentality. And that's exactly the hardest thing to get up out of. All right? All right, let's see. Okay, one more question. Right away, I'm hearing no. The answer to that is no. I like how you said this boulder came and got blocked the path. That's exactly what happened. You get blocked because you're not supposed to meet with them right now. This meeting was going to set you on a path that you're not ready to take yet. You have, and although, yeah, it's exciting, but you're not quite there yet. Do you have, Nika? I'm going to call you Nika, just to make it a little easier for me. Nika, do you have, you feel like a sharp way of words with you, like a sharp way of speaking. And when you get frustrated or angry, it tends to come out more pronounced. What my guys are showing me is that although your intentions are good, you should keep going with your intentions and your thought, but you have to have more empathy from the other side for how it sounds when you're talking to them. And that's why this got blocked. So when you want to make your point, try not to go personal. Try to say, you can still make your point in a kind way and still win. That's what they're saying. Okay, and that's kind of what's blocking your path right now. Is you need to recognize that when you move forward, and it's kind of like you have this drive that goes right down the road. It's like I'm gonna yes, but you kind of run people over, and people who are trying to help you get run over. So I want you to slow down, look at how you're saying things to people, and see if you can get your point across in a more kind way, because that is going to take you further, and then that boulder will be removed. Does that make sense? Okay. If you're new, I'm Stacy. I'm a psychic. I'm YouTube. I have clients. You can make an appointment with me I pinned the links at the top of the chat box. You can make an appointment with me to talk specifically about what you would like in your life and how I can help you make that happen. Every Sunday I'm here at, now I changed it to 11:15 every Sunday. Make sure you hit that like button on this live stream and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, I want you to put your birth date in and your question. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes and then we're going to go. All right, let me see what Bob has over here. Hold on. Okay. Did you say you were going to do my life path? I think I did, but yeah, you did. Thank you. All right, hold on a second. Sunday brain fog is not really helpful for me. Okay. Oh yeah, you're the 9. That's right. You are 9. Symbols. You're 9. So yeah, you need to you learn through endings. So you've probably had a lot of endings in your life, endings of jobs, ending of relationships, just any kind of endings. And you learn. You're supposed to learn from them. You're not supposed to sink into sadness and loss. That's exactly what they just said to me. You're not supposed to sink into sadness and loss. Um, you chose to have a life path 9, so learn to rebuild. Learn to rebuild. And you're very logical. Okay. Yeah, they keep saying about rebuilding symbols, rebuilding. And the key here is instead of rebuilding like your business, they're saying specifically, for example, like a business, instead of rebuilding a business exactly the way it was, learn from that ending of what happened and why it ended and build something better. And that can be for any relationship, job, whatever. But that's what you're supposed to be learning is that look at why it ended and build something better. Okay? Yeah, Neelam, did I say your current vibration is really, really very light, very positive? It's like this, honestly, every time you ask me that, I get this pink color. It's like a pink, it looks like a pink sheer fabric. It's really pretty. It's real light pink, pastel pink. You have a very, very light vibration right now. Neelam, I'm seeing that you're going to have something coming your way this year that's going to be a major turn of events that's going to be good for you. Don't let it scare you off. All right. If you keep with this positivity, you're going to have a pretty good year, and don't let that scare you off. Okay. All right. Any more? Thank you. Okay. When you're good. Yeah, I think the more you think about the way you come across, and especially professionally, I think, I don't know, people think they have to be just so brisk with everybody. Like you don't. I mean, you're very good at what you do. So, Anika, you're very good at what you do. So just relax on that and be kind moving forward, okay? All right, everybody, make sure that you like this live stream. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm here every Sunday at 11:15. If you want to join my Facebook group, I did put oh, here it is. Hey, here's my Facebook group. I don't know why it wasn't up earlier. Here's my Facebook group. I should redo this. I have way more members now on Facebook. So you just answer the questions on Facebook and click, that you want to join, and we'll let you in. All right. I also have the Instagram page where you can follow me there. I go live sometimes there. I just have gotten super busy. I haven't been able to do it lately. But and then I don't have Patreon in here. These are for my Patreon members, my Patreon clients. They send me nice things. And if you're interested in becoming a member, you go to patreon.com/thekey. And until then, you guys have a lovely week, and I will see you next week.